Now, what is your definition about Christianity?
Yes, the definition of Christianity is Christianity is actually it's not a subject, but the meaning of Christianity is a full expression of divinity and humanity. So I will believe with people that said Christianity is not a religion, and Christianity is an expression of divinity in humanity. So I believe with them, and I go with that definition.
All right. Divinity in humanity is Christianity. Wow. That is a nice sense. Okay. Some pastors or some churches do have some issues about their fellow members. No, that is why I brought this topic about Christianity. Some pastors normally get angry if their members goes to another church. Probably they're invited for a wedding somewhere or they go for a crusade somewhere. Some pastors normally pick offense. So what can you say about this thing in Christianity?
That is not the way of Christ. The body of Christ is one. If anybody has the vision and the purpose of the death of Christ in heart or at heart, the person should not be offended by having his or her member leaving the particular church and worship in another place, because it is one body. Since it is one body, if that person's agenda is to prepare a people that Christ is coming to meet, is to prepare people that will be worthy and be trusted by Jesus Christ, then you should not be offended. So Jesus is the target. Jesus is the purpose. So people should end in God. So if you are preparing a people who will actually serve God, if you are working for Jesus, you shouldn't be offended, because the agenda is not denomination.
Yes, of course.
So when you see pastors who behave like that, is a proof that they are not born of God. They might be born again.
Yes.
They are not born of God. Born again is when you give your life to Christ.
Wow.
And when you are born again, you can still be a child.
Yes.
The purpose and the assignment of the kingdom cannot be handed over to you. It is those that are born of God that God hand over the kingdom assignment to.
Wow.
And if those people are actually serving God, they will not be offended having their member worship in another place. Somebody can be with you for a period of time because God sent him there for an assignment.
Yes.
And when the person's assignment is done there, according to the instruction of God,
Yes.
God can instruct the person to leave there and take another assignment somewhere. So that is not supposed to bring offense at all. But you see, these days, the way Christianity is structured based on church, is structured based on my pastor, is structured based on the vision of the commission.
Yes.
It is not structured based on the purpose of the coming of Christ. And it is not structured in such a way that it accommodates all kinds of people. But that is how it's supposed to be. Jesus came that everybody will come into one umbrella, and that is the umbrella of the body of Christ. And so it is not about denomination, it's not about pastors, it's not about this, it's not about that, it's about Christ, that Christ should be glorified.
Ah, how I wish some churches can actually understand what he's saying, and how I wish some some men of God, some pastors can actually get his point because he's bringing out a very important point. What is the missing link about Christianity? The missing link.
The missing link in Christianity is the presence of God. The presence of God. Like in the Bible days, they have the presence of God. The difference between the Bible days and our time now is the presence of God. The way to bring God to be among his people is the problem. So we have gatherings today that God is not part of. A lot of gathering today that God is not part of. The presence of God is scarce among men. In those days, the Bible said the presence of God was with the people of Israelite in the day as a pillar of cloud and in the night as a pillar of fire. And the father of faith, I think, like I said, I think it's Billy Graham. Billy Graham, one of, it's either Billy Graham or one of these fathers in the faith that you can have the presence of God practically around him when he's preaching. I think there's a light that comes upon him, or a practical light that comes upon him. And in Africa, one of the person that we believed to have that kind of dimension is late Benson Idausa.
Yes,
Of
yeah,
his blessed memory.
yes.
Yes, he is one of the person that you know um, that trap God. We trap God like having the physical presence, having something that God is within. Like I said, the difference between the Christianity of nowadays and the Christianity of the Bible days and the Christianity of those days is the presence of God. So if the presence of God can be felt in the gathering of people, then there will be no gap.
Wow, 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 wow. The missing link is the presence of God. Wow, wow, that is a very intelligent answer, which I believe is true. I used to grow up hearing of